Welcome into this week's edition of the Recruiting Roundup. My name is Jared Cohen. This is Jason Jewell. Thanks for continuing to follow us all season long as we're in the last week of the regular season. And if you follow the recruiting world on Monday night, it was like Christmas with all the offers and the commitments that came down. Actually, one commitment came down. We're going to get right into that right away. Billy Nichols from Pinnacle. He's headed to Harvard.
The big offensive tackle shocked the world. He had an offer from University of Utah in the Pac-12, had offers from Western Illinois, and was getting a ton of interest from schools like Boise State. And he committed to Harvard, wanted to get the education, said he loved the city, and got his acceptance letter last night and decided, hey, I'm going to Harvard.
Billy Nichols has had a great season with Pinnacle. They're coming off a great win against Desert Mountain, have a big final game of the season against Brophy on Friday. There were some offers as well. 4 of them went to different juniors. Let's get into some of those juniors. The first one, Laith Frick, offensive lineman. Not the first time we've mentioned his name.
This is the 4th offer for Laith. The University of Washington is the latest for the 6'5", 265-pound left tackle. He also has been offered by University of Arizona, by Oregon State. He's going to completely blow up. He has the potential to be a top 20 national offensive tackle.
Laith Frick out of Centennial receives a big offer. Another player receiving an offer comes from Brophy. Mentioned Billy Nichols playing in that Pinnacle Brophy game. A guy named Austin Hall, another guy, a junior that's going to be playing in that game, and he picked up an offer Monday night as well.
Watch him. He had multiple offers. Plays left guard, Washington State, Arizona State, and UCLA are the newest offers. University of Washington is his previous offer. He's a monster. 6'5", 295-pound kids, and like you mentioned, only a junior. I expect a lot more offers for this kid.
Now, this 2014 class in Arizona has 2 of the top 10 wide receivers ranked nationally here in the state of Arizona. The first one, a great kid, Mark Andrews, the wide receiver, picked up his 14th offer.
Ridiculous for when you think the kid's only 16 years old. He's only been playing football for 2 years, but he's 6'6", 225 pounds. I saw him play Friday. He is a physical freak. Virginia is the 14th school to offer him already. That's insane.
And plug a little story on pros2preps.com. Currently, Mark Andrews also has diabetes. It's a battle that he has on and off the field. You can check out that story on both pros2preps.com and the sister site health2fit.com. The other wide receiver, Jalen Brown, having a big-time season, also plays defensive back for Mountain Point. They're expecting big things in the playoffs, but in the meantime, colleges are taking notice.
He just got his 16th offer. Talked to him last night. The newest offers are from Northwestern. He's an academic kid. Also has an offer from Yale, and the University of Washington offered him. You know, the Huskies are in here recruiting very, very heavily. You talk about a kid that can play on either side of the ball, can play corner, could even play safety, is a playmaker on offense, has over 800 yards receiving and 10 touchdowns this year for Mountain Point. He's a kid, like you mentioned, is a top 10 wide receiver nationally.
Very dynamic player, a kid that's also makes a great impression on the hardwood as well. He'll be playing basketball for Mountain Point in addition to his success on the football field. 2 seniors received some offers recently. Jake Rowe, have mentioned him quite frequently throughout the season. He just picked up another offer.
Yeah, we mentioned him a few weeks ago, offered by Washington State and took a visit there. Last week was offered by Nevada. They offered him as an outside linebacker. I know Jake wants to play some wide receiver as well, but they said they're full, have all their kids coming back next year, and they want him as an outside linebacker. And he's a kid, 6'2", 230 pounds, and he's playing well in his first year playing full-time at outside backer.
Jake Rose looking forward to this week's game against Saguaro. It's his final game in that Chaparral-Saguaro matchup. I asked him a word you could describe this rivalry. Jason, he said hatred. So he's looking forward to this game. The other senior, Tyler Shank out of Chandler, he picked up an offer, an in-state offer at that.
Big offensive guard from Chandler. Shank was offered by NAU. It's the 3rd offer. Air Force and Idaho have also offered the big kid, 6'3", 6'4", 290 pounds, big mauler inside for the Wolves.
Chandler going up against Desert Vista, a huge game. They're looking at that as the first playoff game, the first round of the playoffs, as the playoffs will begin next week. And speaking of next week, make sure you join us. It'll be the first round of the playoffs in the high school football world, but we're going to bring you some Pros to Prep performance awards, some guys that really elevated their standing in the recruiting world, and other players that also elevated their game on the football field. So make sure you don't miss that. But until next time, this is Jason Jewell. I'm Jared Cohen for pros2preps.com.